Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's webinar. Um, I'm delighted that you've all managed to make it today, and we've a really exciting session today. What we want to talk about today is from VPN to zero trust, the partner opportunity in cloud secure edge. We've all heard a lot about VPN. We've heard about the challenges of VPN, and really the world has moved on from VPN to zero trust, and we want to talk you through that journey and look also at the opportunities for the channel and for the partners in that space. Um, I'm delighted to have here with us a number of speakers. We've Daniel Carr, Harry Lewis, and Nathaniel Gill from SonicWall, and they're going to take you through on this journey. But a couple of little bits of housekeeping, if I can go through those with you for 1 minute. The most important thing from our point of view is that the session is relevant and appropriate to you, that you get the maximum benefit out of the session. We've muted all the attendees for the session, but you will be unmuted for Q&A. But indeed, if you have any questions or at any stage, please raise them, send them directly to myself, Michael Conway, or put them into the chat or the Q&A. But just make sure to raise any questions at any stage so that we can make this relevant for you. We can address any issues or any queries that you may have. The session is being recorded. We've had huge interest in this area, and there are a number of people who are unfortunately unable to attend, so we have to make this available to them. So the session is being recorded. So as I say, please enter any questions into chat, and that's the most important thing really from this, because then you can benefit and get the maximum benefit out of this. But without further ado, I'll pass you on to Daniel Carr, and at the end we will take the questions and we will go through those. So please get them in. Daniel.
Thanks, Michael. Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Thanks everybody for taking time out of your day to join us and get a high-level overview. This is really like an introduction to the VPN story, where it's been, where it's going to, and an overview of SonicWall's Cloud Secure Edge, or CSE for short. What I'll do today is I'll give you an introduction and that overview of SonicWall's Cloud Secure Edge. I'll then pass over to my colleague Harry to give you a look at a service that we have, a Cloud Secure Edge catalog that is open to both customers and partners alike, which gives you basically an ability to be able to follow up with presentations, with help with getting set up and trials and such like. And then we'll look to give you an overview of what the product looks like, again, from a high level. And hopefully after that, you want to find out more and we can set up follow-ups for those who are interested. A little start, I guess. The new reality is that businesses and users are spread out. There's hybrid working is common practice now. Like myself, I'll be on the road, I'll be in a cafe, I'll be in the car, I'll be in the office. I work from home, and you kind of expect now to have the same kind of access to the services and data and business applications that you've had, no matter where that you are. The bad guys have also evolved and changed as well. The proliferation of AI has really assisted them with fine tuning and supercharging things like phishing attacks and all sorts of kind of attacks in that space. And this has really both of these have really put stress on admin teams, whether that's within your own business, whether that's an MSP or a trusted advisor that you work with. And that's what we're seeing in the industry, and hopefully we will help address all of these concerns today. Just to start off, really, I think given that this is a high level and an introduction, there's a lot of buzzwords in this area. It's taken us in our own company a lot of time to get used to these as well, and I think it's worth kind of clarifying or making some of them a little bit easier to understand. So you've got ZT, ZTNA, SSE, SD-WAN and SASE that you hear a lot of in this space. So we'll address each of these just quickly at the start so that, maybe take away some of the mystery or the lack of understanding with them. Zero Trust, it isn't a product. It is a security model. So it's an approach to the way that an organization secures their network. Never trust, always verify is one way of putting it. Zero Trust network access is really the evolution of that. How do you apply Zero Trust to your business network? How do you develop policies to protect your private resources? And really, Zero Trust Network is there to replace traditional VPN appliances and security solutions as they're aging. You'll hear us talk about Secure Service Edge. Cloud Secure Edge is very much in this space, a solution that secures access to not just the internet, but SaaS applications, such as very common ones like Office 365 and a multitude of other ones, but also to private resources within the organization. And it's delivered as a cloud service. SD-WAN, something that you would hear from SonicWall quite a lot because it's built into our firewalls, but that's a solution that connects and extends enterprise networks. So really what it is over and above MPLS, or in some cases very expensive networks, ISPs, the ability to be able to use any sort of broadband, whether it be public or private, to get the best out of connectivity for applications and users. And Secure Service Edge, a solution that delivers both SSE and SD-WAN combined together. So I guess starting at the start, VPN solutions, what did they look like? Traditionally, you would have your users, and we're going with a very crude whiteboard type session format today to kind of make it a bit fun and to make it easier to remember, I guess. We've done this ourselves on whiteboard sessions within the business and also for customers and businesses, and it's got some decent feedback, so I decided to use it today. You have your user who would generally have gone into the office. The data would reside in the office, and the applications that those users would have are again behind the office, behind the security measures that those organizations have, such as firewalls, and then that would give access to the internet. Traditionally, in some cases, some SaaS applications may be early adopters of Office 365, but the way it used to be was that you were safe behind that, that wall of security measures that an organization would have. And a user would generally connect into the office, whether they're inside or outside, to go to the internet and to access those SaaS applications. The benefits of that, obviously, it gives security measures that are in place. It helps an organization to secure data, and they can have the confidence that it's behind that wall of security. It gives an ability to be able to provide remote access for those users. But in general, they're behind, they're in the office and they're not necessarily always connecting remotely. So it was basic, but it gives privacy as well. Again, because it's behind that wall, the organization can be pretty confident that everything is being kept secure and private. The disadvantages to that setup was that often it would have performance issues, and I think we can all probably relate to this, in that connectivity dropping off. Access being hit or miss in some cases. Organizations, when you would have maybe during the pandemic, or if you had a snow day or whatever it may be, and there's a ramp up of users that need to go home or work from home, that solutions would be put under a lot of stress, and you would have a lot of issues with performance. From then the IT team's perspective, it would be complex to manage. It would be complex to keep up and running, patching updates, making sure that you're dealing with users who have issues and everything like that. And we would have regularly had IT teams in touch with us to looking for support in these areas. And then also compatibility. So not just compatibility with applications that are bespoke. Some organizations have very specific services that they run, and those services wouldn't necessarily always run very well via VPN. And that would obviously cause issues for users, the fact that they could use some and not others when they're out of the office. And in a lot of cases, it was costly to not just to purchase, but to manage as well. To add users, to remove users, not really having flexibility to go up and down. So the traditional security model doesn't really work anymore. It's complex to manage, hardware and networking policies. It's complicated real-time patch management. Really, manageability, usability, and security are all concerns. Poor and unreliable user experience leads to IT teams being put under pressure with ticketing. Slow and drop connections means that users within the organization are, have bad experience. They're not able to do the job as they expect. And then from a security perspective, as we've seen in the last number of years, there's a lot of challenges around that, and those challenges are increasing. Really what it came down to was, users connecting through a VPN service behind that level, that office, that wall, and then going back out to the services. And as services became more SaaS based and outside of the traditional office network, that was putting a major workload on the VPN solutions that were being provided. What does the modern world look like? We have considerably more users that are working outside of the office. Those users still do go into the office, but the flexibility is required. We still have access to SaaS applications, but also to private cloud. And those users now want to be able to connect directly to the internet and not have to tunnel their traffic through the office. Organizations want to do that as well to increase performance and give access to those users when they need to the office, but also to SaaS applications and to data residing in private cloud. Really what users are looking for is being able to connect to what's needed when they need to, but with a modern level of security to make sure that access is more secure than it's ever been. Organizations are looking to reduce complexity, to reduce the number of vendors that they have, to reduce the amount of cost, and to improve on the performance that these services provide, and really to be able to scale as well. Because when you have a hybrid workforce and users inside and outside of the organization moving all of the time, you want to be able to add in users, remove users as and when the organization requires it. So it brings us to SonicWall's solution, Cloud Secure Edge. And basically, it's enabling your users to securely access resources from any device. It's a cloud-delivered service. It provides intelligent routing, and it provides that zero trust security that, as an organization, you should be looking for. And it's going to prevent 80% of modern attacks on your workforce. A little look at how the SonicWall CSE solution breaks out. So whether you're an office worker or a remote user, there are two solutions or two breakouts: private access and internet access. And you can see there that the top one is really secure remote access, which is replacing your traditional VPN users with the zero trust access to those SaaS applications. And then we have the internet access, providing cloud access or cloud access security broker, or CASB for short, and secure web gateway, which really is a content filtering service that's allowing users that are on the move for an organization to still apply the same kind of security policies that they have within the organization, or when users within the organization, those same policies to the users when they're on the road. And that fits in basically for cloud enforced and delivered, network independent security, and end user experience obsessed. So what are the benefits? It's really easy to manage. We now have a wizard within Cloud Secure Edge that allows you to get a user up and running in 5 clicks, and that is really, really stand out compared to what's out there in the competition. It's fast and reliable. The underlying technology in WireGuard that we use is cutting edge technology. It provides a considerably different user experience, and again, providing that zero trust security. Allowing an organization to give fine-grained access controls, advanced device posture management, and real-time continuous policy enforcement. Why would you go with a Cloud Secure Edge? It's a stronger security model with a greater user experience, which is extremely important. Broad coverage, business applications in the cloud, securities that can manage access to applications regardless of the deployment. That's in the cloud and on-premise as well. CSE really raises the bar in defending against the latest security threats because it's constantly checking the posture of any connectivity and any users. And it enables an ops team to simplify networks, migrate solutions that are easy to install and manage. Realistically, it's helping you protect credential theft. It's providing a greater level of security measures that VPN vulnerabilities weren't able to provide. And it is allowing an organization to have that hybrid offering and integrating with SonicOS for those SonicWall customers. It integrates with our technologies that are already on site, but it's also a standalone solution on its own right as well. What does the licensing look like? As I said, it's broken out into secure private access and secure internet access. Really, this is just to give you a very high level view of what it looks like. With those pricing down the bottom are MSPs. Obviously, we would encourage you to have a conversation with your service providers, your MSP, to be able to see what kind of pricing are available through them. If you're not currently working with one, just reach out to the guys in Renaissance or ourselves directly, and we can put you in contact with them. But this is to give an indication of the competitiveness of the product. If you're curious as to what the differences are between basic and advanced, again, that's something that we can have a conversation with. And you can also get more information around when Harry shows you the service catalog, to be able to get a kind of a finer look at it. But as I said, this is kind of an idea of where we start off. So from as little as 450 per month or 56 per year, all the way up to 7 per month for the advanced features. Analyst coverage, we thought this would be important to include because we do get asked quite a lot, for independent validation, and we're very happy to be able to say that we have multiple validations from the likes of GigaOM, Forrester, and Gartner now. Gartner recognized us in their Magic Quadrant for SASE platforms recently. And really for us in Ireland, where there is a significant amount of SMB and mid-sized organizations, it was really good and interesting for them to recognize that this actually is a very strong fit for SMBs and mid-size. They highlighted built with affordability and MSP flexibility in mind, and also highlighted security first approach, cost efficiency, and ease of onboarding, which is also handy for MSPs. Allow you guys to be able to deliver the service. Forrester also highlighted us and said that we gave an excellent hybrid approach. Again, highlighted our cost efficiency. I can't pronounce that for some reason today. That we have a platform approach and a channel-centric features. Ideal for K2, this is an American slide, but basically education, state and government, SMB, and mid-sized enterprises with a strong security need for IT teams. And that's coming from SonicWall's 30 years in the cybersecurity industry. And again, highlighting the likes of affordability and MSP. All of these reports are available in more detailed format. So just reach out to us and let us know if you want to see more of them. GigaOM was another one. So they highlighted us in the zero trust network access space and highlighted that we are leaders in the cloud and SaaS integration, risk-based authentication and session monitoring. And again, strengths highlighted ease of deployment, strong threat protection, superior access control, and built-in flexibility, which are all of the kind of features that you would expect in an SMB mid-market space from a ZTNA solution. So we're very happy to be recognized in that way. Again, another one from GigaOM, software-defined wide area network, or SD-WAN, which is a built-in feature to our firewalls, and supports and complements our CSE solution. So from a broad, strong security capabilities, easy to consume pricing models, and an industry-focused vertical strategy. So again, if you wanted to take a closer look at any of these, we're more than happy to share those. So from key takeaways on our side, really easy to deploy and manage, fast and reliable connectivity, and it's there to protect against modern threats, which we would see as being the main pillars of what Cloud Secure Edge offers. It's fast, secure, it's providing that zero trust that you would look for, and gives you access to any applications from any device in any location, protecting both users and organizations. How are we doing for time there? I think I'm doing all right. It's time to hand over to my colleague, Harry, who's going to take you through our Cloud Secure Service Catalog.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dan. Thanks everybody for joining. Hope everybody can see my screen okay.
Yep.
Cool. Brilliant. So look, Dan mentioned it. We've got something that we call the Cloud Secure Edge Service Catalog, very much a one-stop shop for all things to do with CSE. As you can see on the slide here, you can book sessions from a 30-minute overview presentation, similarly to what Dan has just done there, all the way up to kind of an hour and 15-minute sessions, going really down and deep into the finer details of the solutions with one of our technical experts. So how to book and what to expect. I will walk you through the steps, or the simple steps to book and use the online booking system. This process just ensures that you get the session scheduled quickly and easily. Please feel free to scan the QR code on the screen and then bookmark that against your Google or whatever browser you're using. Otherwise, we will share the link with you separately to that. But essentially, we just want to make sure that the service is always ready for you, even if you're always on the go. Now, once you're on the site, you'll see a list of available sessions. We encourage you to select the read more option, as you can see on the right-hand side of each section, just to help you understand the session's focus and the value it offers before it books, and just to make sure you're in the right place. But essentially, when you're ready, select the service, simply click on the round icon next to the desired service, and then the check mark will appear. So the time zone is quite important. I can imagine most people will be probably operating on the same one, but just in case, the system should automatically detect which time zone you're in based on your computer and device settings, but it's always good to double check. Next, you want to pick a date for the session that works best for you. Look for dates that are available, and dates that are not will be grayed out. But look, essentially, once you pick a date, the available time slots will show up. Pick one that works for you. There is a special request field, as you can see on the right-hand side. So feel free to add any additional information, potentially the interest in the session, providing extra details for people that you also want involved. But yeah, look, essentially, it just helps the pre-sales engineer prepare for the call accordingly. Also, if you're booking on behalf of someone else, you can add yourself into the guest list so you get the invite as well when the session is planned. So look, we're nearly done. So to finish the booking, whoever is booking it needs to accept the checkbox. That's just the kind of standard terms and conditions that Microsoft terms are embedded within the tool. Once you check that box and everything is filled out, just click the orange book button, and then you'll receive a one-time code in your email. It normally kind of arrives in there pretty instantaneously, but it's just to confirm that your booking is indeed in place. After that, you'll receive a calendar invite confirming that your session is scheduled. If you need to reschedule, there will also be a link in the confirmation email to pick a new time as well. Sample emails. So the upcoming booking email is an automatic reminder that is sent to yourselves or whoever has booked the session 30 minutes before the scheduled session. So this allows you to book weeks in advance. In this reminder, it will include key details, reminding you of the agenda and the time breakdown, presentation versus Q&A, etc., just to ensure that everyone is informed and fully aligned and prepared from that perspective. Now, what I will quickly do is just quickly walk you through how to book it. Fairly straightforward. As we said, the read more option is against each option here with a bit of information about what you can cover in the session. In this instance, we'll just do the general overview whenever the dates decide to load. Then let's do the Friday the 17th, do 9 p.m. Simply fill in your details. Yeah, look at that. Phone number. If you wanted to have any guest emails, as mentioned earlier, please feel free to do that, as well as any special requests. Company name here, SonicWall or your respective company name. Click those terms and conditions, get that booked in. This is where the verify kind of email code will come up. So hopefully it arrives instantly. If not, yeah, so it's arrived instantly in my inbox. Yeah, again, this will eventually load. An invite will be sent over to you within 1 to 2 minutes of getting that booked in, and you are all good to go. Fairly straightforward from everybody here. Hope that made sense. And yeah, look, I shall pass over to Nathaniel to run through the solution from a kind of demo and admin perspective.
Just before Nathaniel, sorry if I can interrupt for one sec. There's a couple of hands up. If anybody has a specific question, please just put them into Q&A or into the chat, and we can take those or we can raise those. So I see there's a couple of hands up. So please just ping the messages onto myself. I'll pass you over to Nathaniel. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so hi everyone, welcome again, and thanks for giving us some of your time today. So I'm just going to go through a quick demo of what kind of the customers will see and what they see, kind of going forward, how they use it. So it's a different installer than our traditional net extender or GVC client. So it's just the SonicWall Cloud Edge client here. It's currently all been branded, so I don't know if anyone's used it before. It used to be Banyan branded because it came from an acquisition originally, but now it's all been redone, so it's all SonicWall Cloud Secure Edge branded. So all the users do is they click login, this is going to send them to a third-party login page. So we don't do any of the authentication natively within the CSE solution itself. We do it all through an independent IDP. So third-party IDPs are all supported. So Microsoft, Google, Okta, and many more. I'd always recommend using 365 or Google Suite personally, because then you can build around the security services that are available in those as well. But so they log in with their usual credentials and they get this login successful box. At this point, they can close that browser and they come back to the agent itself. And you can see here that it's automatically connected to a service tunnel to my TZ80, sorry. So you can have it configured. So when users connect, it's going to automatically connect them to that network, that range of subnets, that IP, whatever kind of you want them to connect to. And in terms of if you're just replacing a traditional VPN, you're good to go. You can set it to auto connect, and then they can just browse to all the various parts of the network they need to, file servers, RDP servers, HR servers, anything like that. But for now, I'm just going to disconnect this. And then we're going to focus on a few more of the specific kind of services that we can do. So they can come down to the services on the left-hand side, and then they'll be able to see all of the services that are assigned to their user account here within the portal. So one thing that I always like to demo is you can have your firewall management configured this way. So again, it's going to just double check I am who I say I am and confirm that with an MFA prompt to my phone. So it's ticking all those zero trust boxes, never trust, always verify, does all that. And then this is the firewall management of one of my firewalls. So again, you can use this as an MSP yourself to enable remote connections into your firewalls without having to leave ports open on the WAN network or anything like that. So that's one good way we can do it. And then the other one is an RDP. So we'll just connect into this RDP session here. And you can see from that, it's fully connected into that system. Now, the great thing that I really love about Cloud Secure Edge is it does device trust verification. So it scans this on initial login and then every 10 minutes thereafter, but you can also force it. And why that's important, so for example, you can see at the moment, my device trust level is high, everything's got a green tick, everything's good, so my RDP is connected. But if I open up my Windows Defender firewall and just turn off that firewall and hit apply, like I say, if we could wait 5-6 minutes, but I don't want to do that with your time. So we'll just hit the refresh button here to make it force update everything. And you see here that firewall is now got an X. Device trust levels moved down to medium, which means when I go back into this, it's going to come up and say that it's been lost. However, if I come back here, turn it on, just basically reverse those steps, refresh it again, it's going to scan, check that it's there, and then I can remake that connection, and I'm back into that remote system. So it's that thing of, it's not just kind of, checking on initial login. Like I say, it's checking repeatedly throughout whenever they're connected. It's currently every 10 minutes. At the end of this month, I believe, we're bringing in the option for admins to be able to lower that down a little bit. It's never going to be, every 20 seconds because that's a lot of data to be sent everywhere. But there will be some kind of level that you can bring it down to help. So that's that. And like I say, just one other thing, we can also connect things like a Proxmox or a Windows help desk or kind of any internal help desks. Windows, Microsoft doing Microsoft things here. Okay, we'll just disconnect from that one. Obviously, the demo gods are doing what the demo gods do best. But the one other thing that I do want to show you is, so if we can log out of Cloud Secure Edge and then reopen Chrome, we can still get to these websites that have been we've been given access to, as long as I've got the permissions to it through that account. I can still connect into my environments remotely, even without being signed in to the client itself. So for clientless access, basically, for third parties, if they need access to CCTV systems or kind of anything that they're working on remotely, they don't have to have the CSE installed on their device. You can just give them access through to the clientless and then it'll give them access into everything. So that's my kind of quick demo done. I believe we will now open it up to Q&A. Thanks a lot.
Well, you get the award there, Nathaniel, for the speed
The
demo.
quickest ever.
Excellent, very good. So if I can invite Harry maybe to put his camera on also, and just maybe there's a couple of questions here, but can I just raise one question that's just for clarity, just for everybody's, the service catalog, is that basically a personal demo explanation of your chosen topic on the catalog? So you choose your topic, you choose the time, and that's a personal sort of demo or explanation for you. Is that pretty much what it is?
Yeah, pretty much what it is. Like you say, so we've got experts working on that on the back end from our side of things. So yeah, they kind of list what times they're available. They become available on the calendar, and then anyone can just go in and book a session whenever is suitable for them.
Yeah, so it's a very flexible way of getting the maximum explanation for yourselves individually. So I think we lost Harry there briefly, but you bounced back in.
Apologies, internet issues. Yeah, I live in the countryside, so apologies. But
it's very good over here in Ireland, but we'll say no more. Anyway, but just a couple of questions that have come in, and please, as I say, if anybody has any questions, please raise those questions, put them into chat or into the Q&A. I do see some hands are still up there, but if anybody has any comments to make, just put them through the chat or Q&A. But the question here is, what are the main drives behind moving away from traditional VPN? And I guess that's sort of the overarching theme of the conversation this morning. Daniel, you're muted there. I think Daniel had some sound issues earlier anyway.
Am I on now? There
yeah,
we go.
You're good now, yeah.
I'm back. The joys of live TV, so to speak. So look, I mean, SSL VPN technology has been around for 30 plus years. And as many organizations have probably seen, quite publicly, there's been a lot of vulnerabilities detected in them, and that is not just from a SonicWall point of view. That's an industry-wide thing. I mean, I'm not. It's important that we do note that. We were seeing vulnerabilities in the industry some 6 years ago, popping up. It's become more condensed now, and that's something that needs to be addressed. Also, legacy VPNs open up a listening port to entire public internet, so that's a massive attack surface. It makes it easy for attackers to target organizations. And now with AI being used, the window between a vulnerability being announced or detected and it being utilized has narrowed greatly. So it's before we can even get a patch out for it, or threat actors are able to get in and around and make use of these vulnerabilities very quickly. So the other thing as well to address is cyber insurance providers. They're increasingly mandating zero trust and strict MFA to kind of provide and renew on policies, and I'm sure a lot of you guys on the call are seeing that now. And in a lot of cases, if a client gets breached via an old SSL VPN technology, their claim could be denied. So, we really want to avoid that and be getting in front of businesses to explain to them what the risks are. Really, to put it bluntly, staying on SSL VPN it's not just a security risk, it's a business liability at this stage.
It's interesting. I think we're well into the session so far, and I've heard hardly a mention of AI. But you mentioned it there, Daniel. So I'm destroyed. My day was nearly good without AI for a while. But listen, I think one of the things that I picked up during your session earlier, which I thought really was a couple of key points. You said basically it's the modern way of working, it's the modern level of security and it's flexibility that's required, and VPN doesn't have. And I think one of the things that I know we've looked at the VPN vulnerabilities, and they've been going on for many years, and they've been through all sorts of platforms and technologies and brands and whatever it is. It's just not a secure way to work anymore, I guess. That's the bottom line, is it?
That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, the evolution is there. it's just about education at this stage, making sure that organizations know what their options are, and hopefully giving them, you know, enough information to make educated decisions on where they need to go next, and, you know, hopefully looking at CSE seriously.
And you also mentioned snow days and pandemic. I took a note of those, and I'm trying to forget about those things. But the flexibility that's required is huge. But sorry, just coming to another question here. And as I say, please, anybody any other questions, please raise one, put them in. The licensing model has changed. Why is that?
Yeah, good question. I mean, look, this does come up quite a bit, because traditionally, certainly with SonicWall, you used to be able to buy a number of access concurrent users for VPN access. You know, that service was traditionally really, and it still is, a basic access service. It's just a VPN tunnel. You're likely paying now. An organization is likely paying for a VPN, maybe even if it's a one-off, but also for a separate DNS filter, you know, the likes of Cisco Umbrella. CSE consolidates those both together, so you get private access and access to apps and internet security rolled into one. So really, it's a different solution, and it's being managed and updated by ourselves. It's a cloud-first service, so it isn't necessarily your IT team that's doing the day-to-day management of this. It's SonicWall, and that cost has been absorbed by ourselves. So it's a different licensing model, and it fits into the licensing models that you tend to see out there for solutions of this nature. Providing, I mean, you can consume it monthly, or you can consume it annually. So there is flexibility there, but really, I think it's about getting your head around the fact that it's an entirely different solution to what you've used previously.
So it's just different, basically, the way it's operating. So there's a question here, sorry, from Oscar. So this client, while enabled, is constantly monitoring for what is happening to the end user's machine, and if any threat is detected, it'll cut off the client and look for authentication again. Is that a fair way of describing it?
Yes, pretty much. So I was just typing out a reply, but I'll answer live as well. So yeah, basically, if the client machine has a change happen on it that reduces that trust profile to lower than you've configured it needs for that specific connection, then yes, it's going to kill that connection, wait for that issue to be rectified, and then when it sees that issue rectified, it'll then reallow the connection. So it's very smart, isn't it? Like, say, we've got a list of different trust factors you can build into the policies, and you can kind of set some connections so they'll allow it from a medium or high, low, medium or high, or some just for high. So yeah, you can kind of customize it all. So if anyone's interested in that, more than happy to jump on a call following this with Renaissance and Dan, and we can go through that kind of a bit more detail and showcase it a bit more.
And I love the way you talk about connections breaking and living. So poor old Harry is having one of those days anyway. But
call apologies.
That's no problem whatsoever. I mean, it's live. Just one side mention here in terms of technical enablement, and that's a huge part of what SonicWall is about and what Renaissance is about, and trying to bring to SonicWall partners and users. There is a SonicWall Elevate Tech Connect workshop being run, or a session being run, on Thursday the 19th of May, the 9:30 to 2:30, and that's to go through and to bring partners and others, if you like, on but it's focusing on partners in terms of bringing on the latest levels of technology, the modern firewalls and licensing, talking about the firewall to security journey, if you like, and also talking about secure access without SSL. So there's more of a technical, in-depth walkthrough on this. The link is actually in the chat, I believe, and that link is in the chat if you wish to register for that session. That's on the 19th of May, which is a little bit away. In fact, for anybody who is traveling outside of Dublin, the 20th of May, Cyber Expo Ireland is on in the Leopardstown Pavilion as well the following day, and that is a free event, and you can meet the SonicWall team there also. Sorry for those sides, but I think it's really important in terms of bringing everybody on the journey in terms of enablement, and that's really important part of what the SonicWall team wants to do, because enabling everybody to configure things correctly and get things right and maximize the benefit of the technology and the platforms really is beneficial for all. A question. So a question here. so the full service cost RRP around 168 per user per year. I'm not sure there's any advantage getting into a whole bunch of numbers here, but is that roughly what the numbers look like?
I think the best thing, if there are going to be scenarios where users are using secure private access or secure internet access, and scenarios where users will have both. But the one thing I would say is that we're very competitively priced against comparable solutions in the marketplace, and really I put that pricing up there to give an indication in euros. I mean, a lot of the time, being an American company, we end up having everything in dollars when we're having a conversation. So I wanted to give people a flavor, but that's MSPs that are there. So really, if you're interested and you want to, very easy for us, we can turn pricing around, very handy. Reach out to either your MSP, or if you're an MSP, reach out to Renaissance and get that pricing in front of you with your partner levels. If you're looking at competitive options, then please let us know what it is you're looking at, so that we can kind of have a conversation around that. Yeah, I mean, we're well placed in the marketplace, and we're well suited to the SMB mid market space. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
And I see one here, and Nathaniel is doing a great job of answering these live, but it's just a comment really. I want to clarify whether this means our current VPN connection is no longer secure and needs to be replaced. I think from me as a layman, I think that's the bottom line. They're not as secure as they once were, I think, as Nathaniel mentioned, and we'd advise moving to a secure remote connection solution such as CSE. And one thing that we're seeing as Daniel mentioned, is the whole area of cyber insurance. Organizations are being pushed down the cyber insurance route, probably for their own benefit, but even the organizations that they work with are being pushed with, maybe their clients or their customers or whatever, are being pushed down the cybersecurity route, and using what are known as less effective security technologies is not going to enhance your cybersecurity your cybersecurity posture, and it is going to I would just say to you, it's just going to frighten off your cyber insurers. So the bottom line is, you need to be moving along from those technologies. Was that a fair summary, Dan?
Yeah, I think just to add to it as well. I mean, the traditional VPN technologies, if you're updating them and patching them and making sure firmwares are up to date immediately, then you're closing that window, obviously. But I think what we're seeing is that that's a tricky thing to do, because threat actors are able to turn around and really to search and to attack on a really broad surface across multiple businesses at the same time. So when they see a vulnerability come up, or when they see a way in come up, they're able to act on it considerably faster using AI than they were before. And that's the reason why traditional VPN is seeing so many of these issues over the last number of months and years, compared to what it was previously. And that's where the need comes to look at something that's more modern and more flexible.
Yeah, I think one of the things we absolutely see is that it's 24/7 world there. And what Daniel mentioned, snow days and pandemic, people are working at different hours than they typically would work. So you're using these technologies outside of those hours. There aren't maybe necessarily the resources there to respond. You have to have the more effective technologies.
I think what I would add in there is, as well, is just around the monthly pricing. For instance, if you're an MSP and you've worked with us before, you know that if you need to order a number of users, you have to go to distribution. They have to order with ourselves, and that takes a time to generate a key. Whereas with the service provider program that's available to partners, you're actually able to scale up and scale down through My SonicWall yourself, and then get billed retrospectively for that. So you're literally able to go in and add users instantly, and that only takes a matter of minutes. So if an organization turns around to you and says, listen, we've got 5 people who are at home today, the chances are is by lunchtime you'll be able to have them up and running and have access, whereas you wouldn't have been able to do that before. So it's a very flexible solution.
Very good. There's a method here, just looking for the slide deck, that the slides will be made available afterwards, but there is going to be a full recording made available of this, and this link will be sent to everybody. So please share this with your colleagues, rerun it, as I say, if you wish, but share it with your colleagues or any others who may be interested. So the information is being made available to all. I have a question here as well. They're coming in thick and fast, these questions, keep us all busy. But a question here, how does CSE compare to other remote access solutions?
CSE, there's no need to spin up new VMs, which is obviously quite an added extra. It's you can deploy new proprietary without deploying new proprietary hardware, and you don't need to remap every access policy. It also gives you the ability to run Cloud Secure Edge alongside your existing SSL VPN solution while you're transitioning users and migrate policies. So there's not a case of having to rip and replace. And also the feedback that we've got is the ease of deployment and the ease of management is considerably different. There are some big players in this space, but the time that it takes and the day-to-day management on those solutions compared to ours is significantly different. So, we would urge you to take a look. I mean, resources wise, I can't sing the praises enough for the likes of the guys at Renaissance being able to provide demos. You can come directly to ourselves in SonicWall to be able to provide demos and hands-on with trials. And that's really where you learn how easy the solution is to get up and running and how efficient it is. Or else, if you don't want to speak to one of us or the guys in Renaissance, then just use the service catalog and book in, take a look, and get assistance with a trial. And I would urge all organizations to try and get a number of users on this to experience it for themselves. It's definitely one of those solutions that the proof is in the pudding, really, when it comes to getting users onto it, using it, and seeing how easy it is and how the performance increases considerably. So we also don't charge per pop or per access. So that's something. You're not getting tiered pricing for adding on additional different users to different user levels. It's from one user upwards, and also like per tunnel bandwidth or anything like that, we don't charge for any of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot easier from a pricing model perspective as well.
Can I say, actually, sort of our tech team, and it's not me, it's somebody, more people who are more capable than I, but they've had no difficulty when they're sitting down with partners and discussing how to actually deploy CSE. It's quite easy, and they've gone through it very, very quickly, and they're available for any of our partners at all. Delighted to assist and help. And I think one of the there's a question there. Is there any NFR option for partners to implement for themselves?
Yeah, we'd be happy to support any partners looking to run this internally. Just come and have a chat with us, reach out to us after this, drop me a line or pop your details, whoever's asking there. I'd be happy to look at that. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that goes back to what Daniel was talking about, get on a trial. And I think getting familiar with it, getting on a trial, I think that's really, really important. And if you need any help with that, that's to ourselves or to the SonicWall team. We're more than willing at any stage to help. A question here is, if the user has 4 different sites, maybe these are very specific, but if the user has 4 different sites with SonicWall hardware and needs to access all the sites from time to time for some reasons, does it mean that this user needs just one license or needs to pay for the license for each site?
So I'll take that one quickly. It depends on your setup of MySonicWall, but ideally, if all of your 4 firewalls are in the same MySonicWall tenant, you just need a single license to be able to connect to all 4 either at the same time, or you can take it in turns to connect to each individual one.
Concise and quick. Thanks, Nathaniel. Are there, since the questions are coming in thick and fast, are there any other questions, or has anybody else any questions that are outstanding? I think the NFR one is answered. What I would absolutely be suggesting and recommending to anybody is, please come to the Renaissance team or the SonicWall team. Let's look to set up a trial for you to make sure that you understand the benefits for you and for your customers. I would also re-emphasize again the Elevate Tech Connect. This is a session on the 19th of May. It's a morning session, 9:30 to 2:30. Going to give you a bit of lunch as well. And again, that's more enablement, more technical resources, more technical assistance, and really importantly, even in terms of your overall longer relationship with SonicWall, it's really important that the SonicWall team and the Renaissance team, we want to make sure that you maximize the benefits of working with SonicWall and with the various technologies there that can deliver a fully secure and compliant solution. So please, I think it's really important for you to get the benefits. Go to that Tech Connect. That may or may not be yourselves. It may be one of your technical resources within your organization. So please feel free to share that with any of those. We'd be delighted to see you also at Cyber Expo Ireland, which is on the following day, the 20th of May in Leopardstown Pavilion. And you can register with that through the Renaissance website, Cyber Expo Ireland. It's, again, free. Coffees and everything are all free as well. But I think that really sort of pretty much wraps it up for today's session. There is one more question.
There's
there.
one more that I just want to highlight as well that I've already answered as well, but I just want to talk about it. So Paul's asked, so with the CSE solution, is it available through existing other vendors or on-prem firewalls, or is a SonicWall appliance required? Just want to stand this out. Like I say, you don't need a SonicWall firewall in order to use CSE. We support standalone connectors running on either Windows or Linux VMs. So you don't need one of our firewalls to spin it up. You can use us behind whatever infrastructure you or your client already has. We'll fit in and make it work. Cheers.
And sorry, there's two more questions there from Stephen. So maybe you want to address those, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I can do that. So will this allow me to be location agnostic and retain a static public IP, and then so that we can do things like lock end users down via conditional access to static network locations? It can do some of that. I think that's possibly a question that's best kind of raised separately from this, and we can kind of go through kind of the more specifics. But there are ways, like you say, to kind of use both the conditional access and the trust profiles within CSE to only allow access from specific named locations, specific named countries, all that side of things. But where you talked about retaining a static public IP, it's a bit more complex. So if you do need them all to come with a specific IP, there are ways to do it, but like I say, that's a bit more of a niche scenario, but we can cover that in a call separate to this.
So let's set up, and again, every organization and client and whatever, they may have specific niche questions. And again, we're very, very happy to address those. Sit down and see what's the best way to put together a solution for that. So very happy to that. Listen, I'd really like to thank Daniel, Harry, Nathaniel, and everybody for attending today. I think today's hopefully been useful. Hopefully it has been useful to you guys, which is the most important thing. If anybody's any questions afterwards or anything like that, please raise those questions to any of the SonicWall team or to the Renaissance team. We will follow up and get back to you with details of the recording, etc., the deck, etc. But please, I would suggest register for the Elevate Tech Connect session. I would suggest downloading a trial and getting and using this and trying this out. Try it in your own environment. Try it with the customer, or work out and have a play with it, so that you can understand the flexibility, the capability, and how easy it is really to deploy and install something secure. So, thank you very much, all. Appreciate your time.